These are the visuals now coming in from the main gate of the Parliament of India, where the entire team, this is the budget drafting team, along with Finance Minister there. This is the second round of photo opportunity, and then she heads inside. I'm looking at that visual, Rajdeep, and as a woman, I want to highlight also the second woman who has been involved in this drafting, along with the Finance Minister, that is the DEA. A word on her, Siddharth. This is rather interesting because the focus has been...
Well, Anuradha Thakur Maria is actually one of the stars in policy making. The Department of Economic Affairs, one of the most crucial departments in the Ministry of Finance, because pretty much everything, including the appointment file for the governor of the RBI, goes through her. So I think obviously chosen for her merit and performance, and clearly this has the hallmark, this budget, of a very capable set of officials. But remember, this is also a unique budget in the sense that there is no finance secretary. Rajdeep, that's usually the process, that the finance secretary is considered the first amongst equals and convenes the entire process. So I guess in some ways, the finance secretary not being appointed, the reasons are not known publicly. But I thought that is also Dr. Baru appoint.
I believe the cabinet secretary is doubling up as the finance secretary.
Well, he was one of the best policy makers that we have seen in North Block for.
But would that be the first occasion in the country's history that you have a budget exercise taking place without without a full-fledged? I don't think it's ever happened that you would not have a finance secretary at a time when the budget is in place.
Absolutely.
I mean, that, it certainly is a question worth asking. Why don't you need a full-time finance secretary, surely, Mr. Zarabi, don't you?
Absolutely.
I mean, the government should be giving you a reason. You're saying...
Well, I think it really does. The finance secretary is not a post. It is the first among equals. But that role has obviously been performed by...
It's a 12-member committee which has been involved in this drafting.
Maria, since you have the budget dashboard, I wonder if you have the data on GST collections, if at all it's there. But the reason I ask is, viewers, we just have had the latest GST data come in, and this broader point.
So this is the number here.
Yeah, okay,
let's go ahead. Go ahead,
yes. So this is about the GST collection annually. If you look at the larger picture, for financial year 2025, it is around 16.5 lakh crores. In 2024, it was 22.1 lakh crores. So remember, it was in the second half, around October, is when the second generation GST reforms were brought in. So the government's calculation certainly has been that this will increase the overall GST collection. Projection for this year.
You keep that data on screen, because we have the latest January month data, and there's a political economy story which Rajdeep, Maria, our guests, could reflect on. Net GST collections in the month of January are up 6.8%. But the most interesting part, if you see from a GST, and we know the way it is calculated, Haryana has seen 27% growth. And the steepest decline at 46% is in the state of Jharkhand. Now, with the framework of GST, Shankar, does this sort of tell us that Haryana is now a powerhouse state that has gone beyond what it was 15, 20 years, 30 years ago?
Naib Saini can be happy for 24 hours, but the fact is that this reflects the higher sales in automobiles and therefore the indent on the GST collections from Haryana. And Jharkhand is down because no mining has happened due to unseasonal rainfall, and the down numbers in total mining were visible in the GDP figures. So this is a one swallow story.
Also struggled with that. Yeah. Dr. Baru, on the 16th Finance Commission, before we go back to Maria, how significant is this report for center-state relationship and that so-called divide that was coming up, at least in debate terms?
No, first of all, the Finance Commission report is significant because it's actually a constitutional body that every 5 years has to take a view on the distribution of finances between center and states. And many state governments have been complaining that they have not been getting due share. So what this Finance Commission says is very significant. It is also significant that this is one of the first finance commissions headed by a non-finance chairman. Arvind Panagariya as a trade economist. For the last several years, we've had some people who have been in the field of public finance. So I, purely in professional terms, I'm curious to see what kind of imprint the chairman would have, because he's not a finance guy.